Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing this evening? Here, let me see if I can get to a space where I got a little bit more light so you can see me. Let's try this. Yeah, that's a little better. Anyway, tonight's live stream, we're going to talk about the violence and the division that's on the increase and how it's all going according to plan. And this could be something that's all over the world. It's not just our country. But yeah, there's definitely been a few incidents in our country the last few days that have, the division's on the rise, okay? Too many people are listening to the politicians. I don't know why. We got to wait a few minutes for some people to show up. So, see what the horses are doing here. There's Kiowa. He's a black and white paint. And then my beauty, my black beauty. Yep, they're enjoying themselves. They pretty much got run of most of the place. I got it fenced in, but they behave themselves. And I got they don't get is where the house is up there, my fenced in yard and stuff. But here in Nebraska, it takes quite a bit of ground to feed livestock because we don't get a lot of moisture. But hopefully we're supposed to be getting some here this week. I don't know. Haven't seen much of it yet. But my ponies. I tell you, horses, they are great. There's nothing better than going out, especially if you're stressed out, going on a nice long ride. It relaxes you. You become like part of nature and stuff. It's just a way to relieve stress. My favorite animal. Hey, how's it going? Will 24. Oh, yeah, Will 24. There's Kiowa. He's coming in. Kiowa, that black and white paint. He's my retired gelding. I've had him for 18 years now. Made lots of money as a cowboy on him and stuff. I could shoot off of him in a box canyon with a rifle and he wouldn't even flinch. Awesome horse. Hey, I'm glad to see you. There's my beauty. Anyway, should we get into the subject? I see I got people here. All right. Look at me or the horses? Anyway, let's get into the subject. The division and the violence that is on the increase, okay? And this is all according to plan. And this is all over the world. Luke, Therma forever. Say hi. I appreciate everybody being here. Tell you what, you want to help the channel out? Hit that like button and the subscribe and bell notification so you can sit there and see me while I'm out. I tell you what, if this thing don't want to cooperate, the camera don't want to cooperate this way, we'll watch the horses. By the way, let's talk about the violence that's on the increase. I liked and subbed. Hey, I appreciate it. Tell you what, I have some good content on this channel. I realize YouTube's about entertainment, but I'm also a Marine vet that has had enough with the system. And this is what I'm talking about. We're all in the sinking ship together, okay? And they're doing everything they can to divide us. I mean, look at this senseless violence that happened in Cincinnati, okay? Oh, hey, thanks for being here, Luke. I appreciate it. The senseless violence that went on in Cincinnati, okay? Crazy time. I mean, what world do we live in now where you go out for a few drinks and a meal and you got to worry about getting your shit kicked out of you? I just don't see. You see where I live? Okay. My closest neighbor is 2 miles away. All right. I don't have to deal with that stuff. I see all this stuff going on in the division that's being created. And, we had that thing in Cincinnati and then we had the Walmart thing, right, with the in Michigan. This is what I want to tell you people. This should be like a prepping video. If somebody comes into a Walmart and's got a knife, they're pretty stupid, right? Doesn't Walmart got a sporting goods section? Somebody's starting to slash people with a knife. Go to the sporting goods section and pick up a baseball bat and beat them with it. They got a knife, for crying out loud. Or at least take a big ass fishing pole and start whoop scared. I would solve the problem. But this Michigan thing, the knife thing, and then I remember in Minnesota, St. Cloud, screwed up, buddy, and just start pelting them with anything you can put your hands on. Like I say, go to the sporting goods section, pick up a baseball bat. Hey, I'm going to hit that into left field there. But anyway, that's what I would have done. I mean, doesn't Walmart have guns too? Well, I mean, are they actually getting to the point where they can rob places that have guns in them? Nobody will use those guns to defend themselves? Oh my goodness gracious. But anyway, this is the violence that's increasing. Now, I got a feeling a lot of these attacks, especially the Michigan thing, and then we had that guy in Manhattan that shot up, what was that, NFL headquarters or whatever, just walked in with a gun. It's crazy, okay? But that, I believe, is maybe stuff to do with us bombing Iran. Like I say, we're not going to get by anymore bombing countries in this world and not having repercussions because of it. And now we all need to prepare for that. We got the violence of all the division they're creating in this country. I mean, white people getting the shit kicked out of them after they leave a restaurant in Cincinnati. Why? I mean, if a bunch of if that happened and I walked out of a restaurant and there was a bunch of white people kicking the shit out of black people, being a white guy, I'd start kicking the shit out of some white people. It's got nothing to do with skin color. It's called right and wrong. And if you have the ability to stand up for the weak, it's your responsibility to do it. But, you're not allowed to do that no more, right? You got to wait for the cop to show up. Well, the cops show up. The crime's already been committed. They show up to do paperwork and maybe shoot somebody and arrest people, okay? The act of why they had to show up has already happened. Anyway, but, like the Walmart thing. He had a knife. And like I say, maybe it's my Marine Corps background where I would be like, this guy's going the fuck down. I mean, I don't even have to be armed to sit there and take some moron down that has a knife in his hand, especially when they got a sporting goods section. Hey, I'm going to get that Louisville Slugger. We'll see what your knife does against a bat when I can go and reach out and touch someone. That's what I'm saying. People need to stop freaking out. When the Titanic was going down, the whole time I'm watching that movie, right, I'm like, why ain't these people doing something? I mean, they had 2 hours. I'd have been I said, oh, the ship's sinking. Maybe I should sit there and build me a life raft and make sure that I survive this shit instead of freaking out. And, like I say, maybe it's my Marine Corps training, but I never understood why nobody in that Titanic ever took the initiative to maybe build even a single little life raft for themselves to survive. Strangeness, anyway. Some of the weird things I think about. Anyway, should we see if my front camera's going to work a little bit? I'll say goodbye to the horses for now. Out there, soldier. Yeah, I'm a Marine. But I have nothing against the Army. Did a lot of training with the 82nd Airborne and stuff, we all have our different functions to protecting our country. And the thing is, vets from all services have to come together, and we need to end this shit, guys. We need to end this shit. I mean, we went through the training and had that experience and took those oaths to defend our country. And being back here, we just can't give up on it. We have authority to do it. We don't need an officer telling us that we need to do it. It needs to be done. That's what the Declaration of Independence is all about. Okay? But, you know, us vets need to, the lying that's going on, like, you know, with the E-lists that don't exist, right? How many children during this live stream are going to be abducted around the world and sold into sex slavery? Just in this, the short amount of time I'm on. And I don't know what, I need to get another phone. My front camera doesn't want to work right. So we'll look at the horses. They're better looking anyway. Tell you what, good thing I got a wood burning stove, huh? This grove here, when I first moved here, back in 2007 when I lived here the first time, you couldn't walk through this thing, let alone see through it. I've done a lot of work here. Looks nice. Horses are loving it. But anyway, back to us vets having our responsibility, and the patriots. It's just, you know, we got enough vets in this country. You know, we've been at war for 35 years. We've created a lot of vets in this country. And, you know, we know what we're doing. Not to take nothing away from patriots, but, you know, when you've been in the military and you've trained and you got that experience and you just know how it's all put together, you know, that's why you go through military training in schools and stuff. You know, it's not like, oh, I'm a pissed off patriot, I want to go to work right away. That's just going to get you killed. Anyway, but we need to do something. I mean, people are getting the old beat down in the street. We have these illegals that are just non-stop violence against ICE. You know, I've been ragging on Trump a lot, but, you know, he's doing something with immigration. But, you know, this amnesty for agricultural cooks and hotel workers is bullshit. We got enough Americans here that need jobs. But, you know, them throwing bricks at ICE vehicles, like say every single time they sit there and throw a brick and they break a windshield, crack a windshield on one of those cars or break the mirror off and stuff. How much does that cost the taxpayers? Probably 10 times more what it would cost you to get your windshield replaced. And then they don't even do nothing about it. Like I said, we need to start fixing problems in this country so people aren't emboldened to where they think they can do that. But until we're come together and realize who our common enemy is, because right now, you know, what politicians are trying to say your common enemy is your neighbor. Okay? It's not. It's not your neighbor. It's a son of a bitch and politician that's telling you your neighbor's your enemy. Anyway, people are falling for it. And then these cops, you know, that Cincinnati chief of police, oh, it's mass media, mainstream media for what? Exposing a crime that you guys didn't want to do nothing about? Nobody deserves a beatdown for anything. For anything. All this violence, all this aggression that people got built up in themselves is crazy. They, like the trolls that you get on YouTube and stuff, they don't have anything positive. They don't get up in the day and try to do anything positive. It's all create hate, discontent, and negativity. And then they bitch that their world sucks so bad. I need to get a new phone. This front camera is a pain in the ass. There we got light. Now we don't. But then again, nothing's meant to last, right? I've had this phone for over 2 years, so it's probably time to replace it. It's just, yeah. I wish you could just buy something these days and you could have it for 10 years without having to get another one. Wouldn't that be great? See, I'm kind of old fashioned that way. As long as it works and I can still do the functions I need to do with it, I don't need to upgrade. By the way, that's just me. But as you can see, you see where I live, okay? Like there's nothing in front of me and there's nothing behind me except fields, openness, okay? Do you hear any cars? You don't hear nothing. This is why it's so hard for me to understand why there's so much hatred in the world, why there's so much violence, why there's so much division. If you live in a place where you just don't care, I mean, I'm concerned with my life. I try to sit there and make sure that I stay a moral person. And I'm not worried about my neighbor. In here, my neighbor really don't worry about me. It's a small town, but it's not, Anyway, if you come in here, it doesn't matter how you vote. You come in here and try to ruin the harmony we got here, you're going to get escorted right out of this place by both sides. And if you come in here looking like you need like you have mental illness, you're going to get the proper help for it. Okay? Just the way it is. Okay, what we got here? You got the dogs. There's Columbus. There's Zaya. I tell you what, animals. It's getting to in today's world where an animal is the only thing I trust. I mean, if I go poking a grizzly bear, I know what's going to happen to me. People these days, you can't read them. And then, like I say, all the violence and stuff. Violence, violence, violence. I guess we work too hard out here. We don't have, like today's a beautiful evening. It is a beautiful evening. I should have had a fire tonight. By the way, just sitting out here and relaxing, understanding what freedom is. But then again, out here, we don't have Starbucks. But we don't have violence either. We have freedom because this is flyover country. And when the government finally starts really being concerned about us out here, to the point like they are in the big cities and stuff, then this country's really got problems. And by that time, you guys will be in martial law where you're at. But I can drive around without my seatbelt on. I don't though. I mean, if I'm going to town and stuff, just to town, but if I'm on the highway, I put my seatbelt on. Just because I know there's a lot of people that don't pay attention to, they don't understand why you got mirrors on your car. They don't understand that you're supposed to have more than a vision of what's straight in front of you. Then you got these people that they can sit there and be a mile behind you, and you go 2 miles and all of a sudden they're 20 feet off your bumper and they won't pass you. And believe me, out here, you can see for miles in the other lane that nobody's coming, right? And they're ass riders. So what do? I'm never in a hurry. I just keep slowing down. I've been down to 35 miles an hour before these sons of bitches will pass me. And then they'll scream by me and be doing 80 again. That's what I get for doing the speed limit in today's world. But I don't really give a shit. But that won't lead to violence out here. I suppose if I did that in the big city, I'd have somebody shooting at me, huh? Crazy time. I don't know how you people do it. This is the thing. You need to prepare for the violence that's coming. And the number one asset or layer of protection that you have is distance. Not your gun, not any of that, is the distance from the danger. That's why I'm out here. If it gets so bad where it's coming out here in hordes, I got plenty of time to get away. Plenty of time to hop on my horses, and I'm off doing my lone wolf stuff. But, And this is what the politicians want. It's all over the world, too. All over the world. It's like they want to be king of a graveyard. I mean, do they honestly think that they're going to destroy the world, go into their bunkers, destroy the world, and then come out with no repercussions? You know, bunkers are nothing but coffins for rich people. So, and famous and powerful people. They end up in their bunker. They usually don't come out of them. So, anyway, but is that what they're thinking? I mean, can you imagine, like I say, the trolls on YouTube and stuff, go imagine trying to sit there and make the world a worse place to live today than yesterday, if that was your goal? Instead of trying to better yourself every day, you're trying to make yourself worse and more despicable and disgusting and take the world down with you. I mean, these people that sit there and use violence and hurt people that they don't even know, okay, that may sympathize with them and stuff, and they're off knifing them or shooting them in mass shootings and stuff. What's wrong with these people? You know, I think a lot of it has to do with the companies that like making money off you when you gotta sit there and, I don't know, take this once daily thing. But anyhow, I tell you what, you can see why YouTube doesn't like this channel. You know, what are they going to do when the truth comes to where they finally got to accept it? Then they'll be begging us to sit there and save their ass? Fuck that. Fuck that. You know, I like to sit there and use my First Amendment like I do on this platform and scream at the top of my lungs my opinion of what's going on. You know, use my First Amendment to tell my government and my politicians how I feel. Okay? It's the great thing about social media. You can do that. But the bad thing about social media is it's run by AI algorithms. This is the thing, right? When these mass social media execs finally get hauled into court and charged with violating people's constitutional rights, I mean, criminally charged, you know what they're going to say? Well, the computer did it. We really, you know, we didn't have that much control. Okay. So they're going to blame the algorithm to try to save their ass. This is the world we live in, where your First Amendment right is obstructed by a computer program. Crazy ass times. But don't worry, the Terminator ain't on the way, right? See, us vets need to get together. We need to end this shit before we've all seen how bad it can get, okay? We've all seen how bad that it can get, and we know how it all sucks having to experience it. Maybe we should end it before it has to. Everybody in this country has to experience it. But anyway, let's see if my front camera will work now, so y'all can see me. But yeah, I think things are nuts, man. I mean, living in a big city, you better be prepared all the time. Be prepared all the time to react. You gotta have total awareness of your surroundings. You know, you got to be observing and listening to everything. Somebody that doesn't look right. You know, a group of people that may be whispering, watching. You know, welcome to how a Vietnam soldier felt in Vietnam, in Saigon. Oh, yeah. You want your shoes? You want your boots polished? Anyway, this is what our politicians created. And like I say, I'm sure they're jumping for joy. It's jumping for joy. And, and then I sit there and I'm supposed to, Vanessa, hi, how are you doing tonight? And then I get told that I'm supposed to sit there and be scared about what I say on social media because I may have some 3-letter agency here that might want to talk to me about it. Willow, hello, how you doing? You know what? If they come and talk to me about it, then that knows I'm right. I'm right. But until then, and even after then, I'm going to use my First Amendment right, and I'm going to scream at the top of my lungs and tell these fucking idiots how I feel about them. If you don't, these thin-skinned politicians, they're all beta males. I mean, they're just beta males. And this is the thing these beta males don't understand. How many beta males is a Sigma or a alpha male is scared of? 0. That's why we don't fear the government. The day I knuckle down to a beta male, no. No. Okay. But, I don't want to bow down. I bow down to my Lord. I'm not going to bow down to any human being. But you know what? I feel, like I say, the strong and the ones able are supposed to protect the weak, not be ruled by the weak. And the thing is, we're just making people weak. I mean, I look at during the election, all the violence we had. I mean, these little spaghetti arm, flat tummy pieces of shit trying to swing at guys that are 6'4" and weigh 250 pounds. Now, the average human being should know, hey, this probably ain't going to work out too good. But they got microaggressions somehow, and they had to just get that out of their system. I remember watching one, this beta male, there were 2 of them. And they're both, and they always seem to be riding skateboards, right? But he went to go swing at this other guy, or no, there was one beta male with a skateboard and this Marine and his friend. His friend wasn't a Marine. But anyway, the little punk goes to swing at this other guy, and this Marine grabs his fist. His arm don't even move. And just this beta male punk is like, oh, no shit, fool. See, some of us are men. Some of us work when it's hot out or it's cold out, and we get dirty and we sweat our asses off. Even when it's 30 below out, we're sweating our asses off. But 3 brain cells kicking around up there. Anyway, but, all I know is who's going to take our spot one day. I can't wait. This is another thing about cultures, too. Most cultures, men have to do something to prove their manhood, okay? In our culture, we have feminized males. And then they get older, and they want to sit there and the ones that ain't totally feminized, they want to do something masculine to prove every male goes through this to prove their manhood. So then a guy like me who's going to be 58 has to get challenged by these little punks. Okay? Really? For one thing, they don't stand a chance. And if you got to challenge a 58-year-old man, that already tells me what your manhood's like. But that's just the way it is. I mean, humans are humans. And, that's one reason our culture is suffering. I mean, then we got Leah Thomas in there swimming and stuff, this guy and stuff. Then he finally gets stripped of his title. I mean, we live in an environment where men are proud of getting trophies in women's sports. What's the greatest threat to our country? Our government. Our biggest threat to our country, you know what it is? It's the inaction of the patriots and vets to do something about it. That's the biggest threat to our country. I will take the responsibility for that because I am seeing what our government's doing. It's obvious. They're stealing from us, spending money on war. Nobel Peace Prize for Trump, right? For what? Bombing Iran? Giving Ukraine whatever they want? Selling arms to Taiwan? Helping Israel out? Kill people? Excuse me, what exactly? But I blame us because we see what's going on and we're doing nothing about it. Nothing. All the vets that they've created in the last 30, when I was in, even with Reagan, when stuff wasn't advertised on the news, what was going on. And we're doing nothing, guys. We're doing nothing. We can run all the equipment, fix all the equipment, run all the machine guns. We know the tactics, and we know what we got between our legs. I still don't understand. But then again, they're never releasing that Epstein list. Oh, yeah, I've been talking about that. Well, it does, the truth will come out, okay? The thing is, the lies they are telling, they're so monstrous. You can sit there and tell us UFOs and Bigfoot don't exist and maybe come up with a logical argument. They come up with a logical argument that, yeah, this is why, right? This Epstein list, this is beyond telling us Bigfoot and UFOs don't exist, okay? Beyond that. Remember, if I see a UFO and try to tell somebody about, they'll say I'm crazy because I'm just a little guy, simple guy, right? Let's name the people who said they've seen the list. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, the FBI, the New York Police Department stuff. Now that's not just me telling somebody I saw the list. These are top-notch people, right? Anyway, it's just a bunch of shit. Like I say, I would love to see a reporter ask Trump, well, since you say there's no... See, now my viewers went down to 0. Oh, YouTube. You won't even give me a break. Epstein list, boy, you could sure tell that you guys are all in cahoots with each other. Who do you think you're fooling? The only thing you're fooling, YouTube and the bigwigs, the only people they're fooling is themselves. Themselves. This illusion of power they think they got over us by spouting lies. We can verify it with this lie or that lie. They sit there and give us video of the hallway of the prison that Epstein was in. How about the video of inside his room? How about that video? Oh, does that reset 24 hours a day, every day? Lying shit. Like I say, the only thing this administration's proved to me, it's definitely two wings of the same bird. That's all it is. How you liking that sunset behind me? The best you can see it, I guess. But yeah, you sit there and talk about, all I know is when I got Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, these other liberals that run these social media platforms covering and hiding the truth for Donald Trump. Yeah, we need to do something about it, okay? Whatever they told him, convinced him. I don't know what the dog saw. They went running by. Didn't get that. But, he can't convince the public of what they're trying to convince, what they convinced him of. But this is bullshit, okay? And now we got Americans just at each other's throats. at each other's throats. I don't know what the heck they saw over there. I didn't see nothing run across except them. Yep, relaxing out here. See all the violence I got to deal with? See all the division I got to deal with? Let's see, just a second. Maybe I can see. Is it over there? No, it's not over there. No. Let's see. Is it down there? No. This is my camping spot at my farm place. Is it over there? No. No. House is up there. Got my camper back. Do I see the violence and division? No. Still ain't seeing it. Still ain't seeing it. Still ain't seeing it. Not that I can't comprehend what's going on. Okay, but to me, it makes no sense. It serves no purpose. I mean, you got people that are controlled on both sides that are just at each other's throats. And like I say, the 50% of us that are in the middle, not the 25% on each fringe, are sitting here wondering what the hell's going on. Boy, I tell you what, that is a beautiful sunset. Come on, camera, work. Had to stay on until the sun goes down, huh? But I sure appreciate everybody being here. You know, one day the truth will reign again. For how long again, I don't know. But, you know, it's going to get bad enough to where the problem's going to get fixed, and for at least a generation or two, we'll be taught how bad it had got, how stupid people had got. All right? And then it'll go back. You know, we'll work at making society better, and we'll make it better, and it'll blossom for a while, and then it'll get too good, and people will get lazy, and just a constant, continuous way it always is for millennial. That's why all empires fall. All empires fall, just like ours will. What's the world going to look like after ours falls? I don't know, but there's a lot of it all connected now. So anyway, it's gonna be crazy times. But if you live in a big city, you know, you need to figure out how to protect yourself. I mean, I can't even imagine coming out of a restaurant and then all of a sudden a woman gets over what? Too many drinks? Anyway, but this is what they want. And now, like I say, they divided us again now on who believes there's an E list and who believes there isn't an E list. I mean, some of the hate and discontent. I'm a constitutional conservative, okay? So I don't like neither party. Okay, I believe the FBI is illegal. Any federal police force is illegal. The IRS is illegal. The Federal Reserve is equal. Income tax is illegal. Obamacare is illegal. Any law restricting your Second Amendment is illegal, especially an agency that regulates your Second Amendment. The ATF, an agency that regulates your Second Amendment. I thought we were supposed to regulate the federal government. At least that's what I thought the type of government we had. But anyway, and those are the same three-letter agencies that I'm supposed to be all afraid of, right? Why? I mean, if nobody on the E list has to be afraid of the FBI, you give me a good goddamn reason why I need to. Why a law-abiding citizen who's just using his First Amendment rights to tell the politicians and the elites how I feel about them, and try to tell everybody we're on the sinking ship together and we all need to bond together. But, you know, whenever they can sit there and create hate and discontent, Now, I think a lot of it has to do with all the pharmaceuticals people are getting. I mean, people want to say we're a healthy nation. Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, I don't know what it's like to have to go to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor in well over 20 years, okay? I haven't been to the doctor. No need to. I stay healthy. I work my ass off. I like sweating, you know? Stay healthy like him. Always stay active. But I can't imagine what it's like going to the doctor's office now. Them trying to push a bunch of shit on you. To me, it'd be like almost going to a drug dealer's house, showing up for one thing, and he's trying to push about 60,000 different things on him because he's getting kickbacks and shit. Anyway, crazy time. Crazy time. I tell you what, my dogs love it out here. He's my protector. She weighs more. She'd take after her father, but she took after her mother, and she's a little timid. But I don't know. Maybe if push came to shove, she might get a little violent. I don't know. But another oh, J99, I see you're here. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm trying to go a little early. Trying to go at 7, see if I can get Carol back on here. And I'm gonna order my shirts as soon as I get your size. I need you. And what was your size again, J99? You were a medium, right? And then and you were gonna have J99 put on for a name. So, but I need to get those shirts ordered this week. So, but I think you said you were a medium. Anyway, but I need to get you all in here. But yeah, I'm going early, so that's why. Yeah, it's a better view than me, isn't it? But we're going to go back on me. Oh, I tell you what, tonight is just beautiful. No wind, not cooking hot out. Oh, I should have had a fire tonight. Should have had a fireside chat. Just peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. Yeah, we don't have a Starbucks, but we don't have drive-by shootings. Nobody drives by anyway. I don't think a lot of people in the big city realize out west how open it really is. And where I'm at, it isn't even open compared to, I mean, you get out there in Utah and Nevada and stuff, and that's open out there. Way open. All right. But anyway, I enjoy it. Like I say, we don't have the basic problems that you do in the cities, but we get ruled by the cities. You know, out here in western Nebraska, you know, we still get ruled by Omaha and Lincoln. And they don't have the same mindset you have. I mean, a rifle out here is a tool, especially when you're ranching. It's a tool. It's not a weapon. It's a tool to do a job. You know, because there's lots of predators out there. I mean, what do you do when you got 15 coyotes chasing a cow down after they done killed their calf? What other choice do you have? Unless y'all want to pay about, I don't know, $500 for a steak at the restaurant. Anyway, that's how crazy it is, okay? But I say Starbucks is fake coffee. I don't know. I would never go there. You know, I don't drink coffee anymore. But when I did, you know, a convenience store cup of coffee was plenty for me, all right? I can't. There's no way I'm going to pay $10 for a cup of coffee and what, $20 for a muffin? I think it's just a status thing, I think, for a lot of people. But out here, you don't have that. I mean, the closest you got, you got to go 3.5 hours to get something like that around here. They're not around here. Closest place would probably be Denver, Colorado. So, anyway. Oh, large. Okay, J99, large, thank you. And you want J99 on there? and it's going to be a Hidden Truth shirt. I don't know what color they are going to be yet, but I got to see what will look good. But I need to get them ordered. But before I order them, I need to get Amanda, and I want to get Strictly Cycling one. I just want to do all in one order, make it easier on shipping and stuff. So, and then I wonder, I know Carol's number, and I got her address and stuff. I don't know if she wants a Hidden Truth. I haven't seen her in a while, so I hope she's okay. And I'll have to ask him Peach next time I watch him if he's seen her. But anyway, everybody in those big cities, you need to pay attention to what's going on. The mood of the town, okay? And act accordingly. Don't become a victim because you're afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. Okay, if somebody wants to sit there and make you a victim, then you can't be afraid to act. You can't feel bad about acting. It's all about self-preservation. And you should have as much drive for self-preservation as they do, and have the same right to self-preservation as you do. So, you know, but we got the beatdowns going now. There's a lot of problems going on in the country. And then they want to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, right? We don't even have peace in our own country. So you explain to me, when he's creating wars around the world, why he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize when we don't have peace in the world or in our country. Why? I don't even know why he'd be considered. Name one leader in the world ever that brought peace to the world. And I'm not talking winning a big war and stuff. Whoever brought peace to the world. You know, Winston Churchill had a lot to do with the Iron Curtain coming down. But he didn't have a problem going over to Stalin and kissing his ass to help him fight the Nazis. But once he got done with them, well, you know, he kind of had the Patton thought. Let's just keep rolling on to Moscow. Anyway, you know, but they give politicians Nobel Peace Prizes. Who's the biggest arms dealer in the world? Oh, that's right. That'd be the President of the United States. But let's give him the Nobel Peace Prize. The insanity of this world never ends. And the more they divide us, and the more they make us dumber every day, the worse it's going to get. Because people will go to their primal instincts, which is violence, to survive. Society will break down. You know, and another thing with all this division and violence they're having, it gives them more control. They can pass more laws. They can pass more gun laws for law-abiding citizens to make it harder and harder for them to get a gun, which is all unconstitutional. But the criminals don't care. It's not like a criminal when he goes buy a gun illegally. They're doing a background check on him to make sure he's a good enough criminal to get a gun. But see, they like after 9/11, look at all the regulations, Department of Homeland Security, spying just on the terrorists, but now they're spying on us. And that was supposed to be sunsetted, but they kept, no, we're not going to get rid of it. Anyway, not the Department of Homeland Security, but I'm talking the spying. Okay, we're just giving them more ammunition. We all need to get together and show the government that, no, we've had enough and we all understand, okay? People in poverty and that are on welfare need to realize that if they want to better their lives, they're going to have to pull themselves up from their bootstraps, start working at it, and go to work every day. Every day. Get dedicated to making a better life. And eventually your life will get better. But it will always stay the same if you're on the government entitlement programs. It'll never change. You'll never improve your life because it's not designed to improve your life. It's not designed for you to have ambition and try to sit there and better yourself. You know, and as long as they got enough of us paying taxes where they can still steal from us and pay for these people to sit at home and be good Democrat voters or Republicans, it doesn't matter. Republicans would do the same thing. Believe me, if there were a bunch of Republican voters coming across the border illegally, the Republicans would be just fine with it. Just fine with it. Two wings of the same bird, everybody. Okay? I don't see the people that are wanting the violence in this country being affected by the violence of this country, in this country. Do you? Do you see politicians? You see some of them. Some Rand Paul got jumped once. But in the majority, politicians don't deal with it. They make our lives absolutely miserable and never sit there and feel the effects of their own policies. Anyway. But yeah, I'll give you, yeah, it's Reagan Marine 1986 at gmail.com. Or this is my business one, Eager Beaver Tree Care at gmail.com. Believe me, I got plenty of laughs off that, Dave, but it's giving me plenty of business too. One thing about business, you know, I started it up again. It went dormant for quite a few years, but it couldn't stay hid. They wanted me doing trees again. But it's a catchy name. Gets people attention. And you put a commercial on the radio, I just can't come up with a jingle for it, okay? But, you know, one that doesn't sound too sexually explicit, but you gotta have a little fun sometime, you know. But I go there, I do my job, I do it good, and you know. But anyway, it's all about business, selling yourself, and that's Reagan Marine 1986. Yes, that's it. Yep. And then I'll make sure to check my email, but like I say, I need to get Amanda, and I like to get Strictly Cycling. I haven't seen The Guardian for a while either, but I want to get a shirt for all my my moderators, and then you get a pen too, an ink pen. And I don't know, do you want a coffee cup? I can get you something else too. You want a coffee cup or something? Hidden Truth coffee cup. Maybe that's what I'll do for you guys. Anyway, just little gifts. So, like I say, I'm not going to stop on this channel. There's too much at stake. When I see people getting a beat down in the street just because of their color, their skin, okay? And like I say, I'm going to accept the responsibility because we see what's going on. And we're the biggest problem in this country because we refuse to act when we need to act. Okay? And that's just the way I feel. I don't expect even a patriot who's highly motivated to sit there and stand up like a vet should. We took an oath, people. We took an oath. And yeah, when we got out, especially when I got out, I thought my oath, I'd never have to worry about my oath again. But we come to that time. And the violence that's growing, the division that's growing, we can't let our children grow up in this. I mean, our children aren't even protected anymore. We can't even protect our children from absolute terrible people because somebody said they don't exist. What more do we need to sit there and prove that we're in the right? We got the Declaration of Independence. Nobody wants to do this, but they're not going to stop. If Hitler wouldn't have stopped, if we wouldn't have been stopped, where would have he have stopped? No tyrant stops until the people stop. They always want more and more. Look at we're supporting Ukraine, Zelensky, and he canceled the elections. When's he gonna stop? He don't have to stop because we're just supporting him. Anyway, it's not something that anybody looks at. Like I say, I didn't get out 30-some years ago thinking that one day it would come to a point where I would have to sit there and protect my country within its own borders from its own government. But guess what? We're there. I can sit there and wish it didn't happen. I saw it coming from when I first got out of the Marine Corps. Like I say, you go in when Reagan was in and you get out when Clinton's in. Your eyes were really open to how this country was going. But anyway, we need a leader, and it's not Donald Trump. Okay? He just showed that he'll protect his buddies. And, whether he's on the list or not, I don't know. But he knew about the list before he was president the first time. And he did nothing. But he sure made sure his children had Secret Service, didn't he? See, I'm saying it doesn't just affect conservatives or liberals. It affects all Americans. We're all being treated the same. We're all victims of our government, just depending on who's in charge. Living in that democracy everybody wants. And now people are getting beat down in the street and stabbings in Walmart. The violence in this country is off the hook. And then they want us to give up our gun rights. Are you fucking nuts? Okay? These little old ladies need to be protected. There's a story of a little old lady in Minnesota. She got pulled over by a state trooper. The trooper asked her if she had any guns. And she goes, yeah. And he asked, do you have another one? She goes, yeah. She had 3 guns in her car. All legal. And he goes, what are you scared of? And she goes, not a fucking thing. Do you understand? Anyway, but no, I just heard, what state was it that passed these new gun safety laws? So, your gun's got to be locked in a safe with a trigger lock and your ammo locked in a different safe. So that means that if you're getting a home invasion at night, you're screwed. Because like I say, the criminal doesn't care about the law because his gun's not going to be in a gun safe and his ammo's going to be in the gun and his finger's going to be on the trigger, not a trigger lock. But hey, don't worry. These people have many, many years of college, and all these people that are making these rules, they have armed security. So anyway, we need to fix the problem. Okay? It's beyond the point. There's no way I want my kids and my grandkids to have to sit there and suffer anymore. And if I got to sit there and suffer so the children of this country and the world don't have to suffer and my children don't have to suffer, it's time for us adults who allowed this to happen to suffer. So our children don't have to suffer no more. All I know is there's children being abducted in vans. They sit there and want to, INS is just grabbing people and ICE just grabbing people and throwing them in vans. and kicking them out of the country. Okay, let's say that's true. You're all against it, but you don't have a problem with a young child of that happening to them and being sold into sex slavery. Doesn't bother you a bit. Anyway, this world gets stressful sometimes, and I got to watch it from an area where I ain't got to worry about that shit. You know, when my kids were little and they came here to visit and stuff, I didn't have to worry about that shit. You know, people watched out for each other's kids. I was out here in the country anyway, but if a stranger showed up, everybody knew about it. And you were being watched from the time you came to town or out in the country. You were being watched. Everybody knows everybody. That's what happens when you live in a county that has less than 2,000 people in it. Strangers, woo, 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 woo. And the message gets out. Anyway, I wish all these people that are always so angry, come out here and experience true freedom. What it's like to actually be independent and depend on yourself. See, this is the thing. This is the double-edged sword of freedom and liberty and independence, okay? Because that does not allow government to help you out. The government's making sure you have your pursuit of happiness, you have your freedom, you have your independence to become what you want to be. But there's no government handouts. The government will protect your rights. They'll protect your borders, ensure that your money supply is safe, okay? Make sure that lawbreakers are punished, okay? But they're not going to give handouts. That's the thing with freedom and liberty and independence. Once you sit there and allow entitlements, it just changed everything about this country. Because you're free to fail or you're free to succeed. But now when they sit there and got entitlements, they get to pick winners and losers. And actually the social media thing with the censorship, they get to pick winners and losers. And everybody who's all for censorship now and shadow banning now on social media, well, one day your speech may be hampered. One day when the authoritarian shit goes down like a hammer, bam! There ain't going to be no more LGBTQA plus crap on social media. You'll get cut off like you wouldn't believe. Could never happen. Just because I'm the enemy of my country now doesn't mean you won't be the enemy of our country later, okay? Because eventually everybody will realize we are all in the same boat. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end it tonight. Everybody have a great night. Enjoy my shorts. Like and subscribe if you would, please. Share the content, because I tell you what, the hidden truth is just not going to go away until they don't hide the truth anymore. Anyway, this is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'm out of here.